Hello and welcome back to my next Google Sketchup lesson. We're going to be using the practice house that we made in the previous file. So you should open that up. So pause it and open that up right now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put in some nice windows, and when we're done with that we're going to use a new feature to create a trim around the bottom of the house. Let's make the windows first. I'm going to click on my tape measure tool. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to click and I'm going to start to pull it out. And I'm going to want to go 4 feet out. So I want you to pause it, go, and as I did, create a guide that goes out 4 feet. Okay, now you should be back. We're going to create another guide. So I'm going to come up here, starting from the bottom. I'm going to click and I'm going to start to pull it up. I'm going to make that one go 4 feet up. So we're making a window that's 4 feet up by 4 feet out. I'm going to move over a little here so I can see better. So our window is just a rectangle, so I'm going to get my rectangle tool. I'm going to start where the two guides meet, and you'll see there's an X there on the intersection. I'll start to pull the window out, and I'll make it 4 feet by 4 feet. So I want you to pause it, create a bottom guide that's 4 feet from the bottom, and then from where the guides intersect, draw a 4 foot by 4 foot window. Okay, you should have a 4 foot by 4 foot window now that's 4 feet from the side and 4 feet off the bottom of the house. What we're going to do now is we're going to add some detail around the window, and we're going to zoom in a little bit better so we can get a better look at it. So what I'm going to do here, there's going to be a window divided into 4 parts. So I'm going to draw a line down the middle here. I'm going to start in the midpoint. I'm going to pull it down to this point, to the midpoint of the other one, and then I'll click. Then I'll come over here, I'll start in the midpoint and pull it across and click. So I'm going to make a plus shape in the middle of the window. So I want you to pause it and I want you to connect the midpoints of the lines using the line tool. Okay, your window should now be divided into 4 parts, but we want to make it a little bit nicer. We're going to use our offset tool on one part to make it come in. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to start to pull in a little bit. Okay, this is the windowsill that we're making. I'm going to make the windowsill be 2 inches. So I'm going to type 2 and quote mark in there and hit enter. So I want you to do the same thing using your offset tool. Create a 2-inch windowsill. Okay, so now you should have a 2-inch windowsill. So now we're going to create the other windowsill. So I'm going to come over here, still with my offset tool selected. I'm going to click and I'm going to start to drag it in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the corner of my windowsill and I'm going to find the end point there as I'm pulling in. So what I did is I clicked, I pulled down, and I went to the end point, and then I selected there. That's using inferencing. I'll do it one more time so you can see how it's done. I will go here, I'll click, I'll pull in, and then as I'm pulling in, I'm going to move to my endpoint and I'm going to click again. This is going to make it line up. So I want you to pause it, I want you to go, and I want you to draw a window using inferencing. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to use my offset tool. I'm going to click near the side here. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to go to the endpoint. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to click and I'm going to go to the side and I'm going to go to the endpoint of this square. So now I want you to pause it. I want you to go and I want you to create 2 more insets that line up in perfect squares using the inferencing as I did. Okay, so now we have the 4 window panes. We don't need these lines in the middle anymore, so I'm going to get rid of them. And the best way to get rid of them is with the eraser tool. I'm going to click on the eraser tool. I'm going to move right over at this point where they all 4 intersect. And if I click on this particular point, it's going to erase all 4 lines together. So I want you to pause it, get your eraser tool, and click on the point where the lines cross and erase them all together. Okay, so you should be back now. What I'm going to do now, I want to make another window over in this area here. But it's a lot of work what I did, and what I'd rather not have to do it all again. And I don't have to if I use my move and copy tool. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select my whole window by going to my select, and I'm going to click and drag over this whole window and select it. So now what I have is I have all the lines are selected in blue and the window itself is highlighted and nothing else should be. So I want you to try and do the same thing. Go to your select tool, highlight the window and select it. Okay. Now that we have the window selected, we can move it by clicking on my move tool. And if I click here and start to move it, I can move the window. But I don't want to just move the window, I'm going to make a copy. So by holding down the control key, I'm going to see a copy of the window appear, and I'm going to move that. And I'll put it down. Now we have the window, a copy of the window made. But it's not necessarily in the right place. So let's set up another guide and move the window to the right place. So I'll go to my guide tool, and I'm going to start from the edge, and I'm going to go 4 feet from the edge. So first what you should do is you should move your window and make a copy, and then set up a guide that's 4 feet from the edge. So pause it and do that. Okay, now that we've done that, I'm going to come back to my move tool. I'm going to move the window, but I'm going to start right on the end point here. And I want to start on the end point because I want to line it up right exactly with the guide. So you'll see that when I get there, it'll stop right at that point. Okay, so I want you to pause it. I want you to click on the corner of the window, and I want to move it to the guide. Now we've got some guides here that we're done with. We don't need anymore. And whenever I do that, I want to get rid of my guide. So I'm going to click Edit, and I'm going to go to Delete Guides. So pause it, click on Edit, and delete the guides. Okay, so now what we have, we still have our window selected. We want to put another window just like it around on the other side of the house here. And the best way to do that is to copy it. So I should have my window selected now, and I'm going to click Edit, and I'm going to click Copy. And with my window selected, I'm going to scroll around the house, and I'll do Edit, Paste, and I'll paste the window back in place right here, somewhere in the middle. Okay, I can put it in a better position if I create a guide. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to create a guide, and I'll move it 7.5 feet out, or I'll make it 8 feet over. And then I'll make another guide from the bottom, and I'll make it 4 feet high. Now, with my window selected, I'm going to click on just a corner. And I'm going to take my move tool, and I'll click on just a corner, and I'll move that corner right down here and drop it at the intersection of the 2 guides. Now I can put another copy of the window around the other side of the house, so I'll move out a little bit. So I'll paste it again, and I'll put it down here. I'll create another guide. I'll put this also 8 feet from the center. Oh, that's a little too far, so I'll undo it. Let's make it just 4 feet from the center. And then we'll make it 4 feet from the bottom. And then again, I'll take my move tool, and I'll select, and I'll move it to the corner. And then I will delete my guides. So I want you to do the same thing. I want you to copy the window over to this side and use a guide to put it at 8 feet by 4 feet from the corner, and then put another window on this side and put it at 4 feet by 4 feet from the corner. Okay, so now that you've selected all the windows, we're going to use a new tool to draw a trim around the house. So I'm going to come around the side of the house here, and I'm going to make a trim that comes out of these stairs. The first thing I need to do is I need to use the eraser, and I'm going to get rid of these extra lines in here. Okay, so I'll click on the eraser, click on this line, come around on the other side, click on the eraser, and click on the other little line. Okay, so pause it and erase those two lines right now. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in real close to the house, to the stairs here, and I'm going to draw a small rectangle. So I'm going to start on the corner, I'm going to click, I'm going to start to go up, and I'll make it 1 feet by 4 inches. So pause it and draw a 1 foot by 4 inch rectangle coming out of the corner here. Okay, you should have the rectangle now. Now we're going to click a new tool called the Follow Me tool. The Follow Me tool allows me to create something that will follow around a certain line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this Follow Me tool. I'll go over it, and at first it'll look just sort of like the push-pull tool. But as I pull it out, I'm going to see that it's going to follow me around the corner. So I'm going to go around the corner of the house and stop right here. And you'll see if I look, what I've done is I've created a trim that goes all the way around the house. However, it's hard to go all the way around the house because I can't see all the way around the house. So I'm going to do it another way. I'm going to click Edit, Undo just once. And what I'm going to do now is now I should not have undone the rectangle I created. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to look underneath the house. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the lines going all the way around the house. So I'm going to click on the Select tool. I'm going to click on the first line, then I'll hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to click on all the other lines going all around the house. If you accidentally click the bottom of the house, just click it again while you're holding the Shift and it will unselect it. So you should have nothing selected but the lines going around the house. Now I'm going to click the Follow Me tool again. I'm going to move over here and I'm going to click it once and it'll go all the way around the house. You might have to try this a couple times. Use your undo key and try it again until it works. So I want you to pause it. I want you to I want you to select all the lines around the house and then use your Follow Me tool and click on it to go all the way around the house. Okay, that's it for this lesson. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to stop, and when we come back, we'll look at adding some materials to make our house look nicer.